Hi.
We are.
It's kind of spooky.
Well, we are dead.
First of all, I wanted to tell you thank you for losing my job. I was in Sedona, Arizona, and I was reading The Law of Attraction. And it just occurred to me a day or two ago that I was in a vortex. But I was reading this book, and through your teachings, I began to realize that who was actually holding the key to the prison that I had locked myself into. And at one point, I looked down, and it's like I saw the key. And I realized that I could just unlock the door. And that's really all it would take. And I was in a job that I didn't like, and had been there for 13 years.
Interesting analogies that you're offering, and we want to hear everything that you're saying, but feel the story that you're telling, and we know it has a happy ending and all of that. But feel the story that you're telling about there's this prison.
Yes.
Which you could not focus on it at all, but that's hard to do. It's hard to not focus on a prison that you're feeling. So then you see a door in the prison. Now, you could have just not seen the prison or the door at all.
Yes.
But that's hard to do because of the way you're feeling. So you saw the prison and you saw the door, and then you saw the key. So then you opened the door to the prison with the key. Now, you could have just left the prison out of it, but that isn't how you were feeling. So you just built bridges. That's the sort of deactivating thought that we're talking about. In other words, felt like a prison, but it did have a door, and the door had a key, and I saw the key. In other words, that's deactivating. That's creating a trail that lets you out. And in precisely that process, that's what we're talking about when we're talking. Now we could say, in all of our boldness and genius knowingness about law of attraction, we wrote that book, you know. We could say, just don't focus on the prison at all, you silly one. Don't focus on the prison, but you're feeling the prison. Your life is making you feel that. And so for us to just say, don't think that, that's not logical, is it? So you built some bridges.
Yes.
That's deactivating thought. That's what we mean by deactivating thought. And eventually, you will deactivate enough of that the vortex will take you in. And then, from inside the vortex, you deliberately activate thought. You just practice it in every way you can until you've just tuned yourself into this frequency of who you are so that the universe has to deliver to you inside the vortex stuff out of this part of your emotional scale all day, every day, person after person, subject after subject, day after day. Yes. Really good.
Shortly after I came back, I was laid off from my job. And during the process, first of all, they showed me my severance paycheck. And I went, oh, that's not too bad. This looks pretty good. And I knew through all of this that was happening around me that this is that Abraham Hicks stuff happening to me. I know I asked for this, so you better relax and enjoy it. So...
Well, saying that, in other words, feeling that way, was more bridge building. In other words, this isn't a bad sign, this is a good sign.
Yes.
This is coming in alignment with what I've been doing. This is in perfect keeping with what I've been wanting.
Yes.
This is me on the right path.
Yes. So I get the check.
Yes.
Then they go to the next table, and it's the unemployment office, and they say, oh, you get immediate unemployment for a long time, plus the check.
Yes.
And I'm going like, oh, well, this isn't so bad. This must be more of that abundance stuff. So then they go, well, there's some recruiters over here, and we want you to go talk to them. So I go over to the recruiters, right? And I'm talking to one of them, and I look down, and there's a sheet of paper sitting between us, and it's got an exact description of what I do for a living. And so I tell the recruiter, well, this is what I do. And so the recruiter says, oh, we're interested in you. And 6 weeks later, I started my new job for considerably more money. So I want to thank you for losing my job.
Well,
it really was.
We appreciate your associating your well-being with us.
Yes.
But the reason that we are so exhilarated about this conversation is because this is a perfect scenario of someone who was standing in a place that he did not want to be, so much so that he described it as a prison. And in very short order, moved himself into something really delightful. In
Yes.
other words, and our message to all of you is that you can get from wherever you are to wherever you want to be by deactivating the parts that don't feel good rather than by emphasizing them. Yes. And you can feel, now, of course, this is after the fact, because things are going very well. He has a manifestation that he's now responding to. But we want to say to you, we're saying it to you, but we want to say to all of you who are listening in, his vibration is in this light and fluffy, good-feeling place. You can feel it. You felt it when he sat down. It was there before all of this wonderful manifestation began happening. And the manifestation happened because it was there before.
Yes.
Because what happens with people who are listening in, who are still in the I'm in prison stage, is they hear this happy ending and they can't relate to it because you look and feel you're on top of the world. Things are working out for you. And we're appreciating so much your demonstration of your deactivating by activating. And we want to say you're just scratching the surface of what's in your vortex. In other words, it won't be long before what now, which feels so wonderful, will be the prison that you're moving from.
Oh.